Am I the butthole for snapping at my parents for treating me like a second mom instead of their daughter? Hey Reddit, I'm feeling incredibly torn right now, and I honestly don't know if I was in the wrong for how I reacted. To give you all some context, I 24F grew up as the eldest of 4 children. My siblings are 16 Sophie, 14 Ben, and 10 Lily. I love them to death, and they're genuinely great kids, but I feel like I've been more of a second mom to them than their sister for as long as I can remember. And this has been a point of contention between me and my parents for years. My parents, let's call them Mark 53M and Karen 49F, are the type of people who believe in the "it takes a village" mentality when it comes to raising kids, and while I totally understand that sentiment, I think they've taken it way too far when it comes to me. Ever since I was a teenager, I've been expected to help out with my siblings more than what I think is reasonable for a sibling. When I was younger, I didn't think much of it. I mean, every older sibling is expected to help out here and there, right? But as I got older, especially during high school, things started to escalate. If Sophie had a project due, I was the one staying up late helping her finish it. If Ben needed to be dropped off at soccer practice, I was the one who had to rearrange my plans. When Lily was born, it was like I became her live-in babysitter. My parents would go out on date nights or run errands, and it was always just assumed that I'd be there to take care of the kids. Don't get me wrong, I love my family, and I genuinely enjoy spending time with my siblings, but over time, it started to feel like I wasn't just a big sister anymore. I was becoming another parent. My friends noticed it too. They'd ask why I couldn't hang out after school or on weekends, and I'd always have some excuse that involved taking care of my siblings. I started feeling more like a stand-in mom than someone who was supposed to be experiencing her own teenage years. Fast forward to now, I'm 24 and living on my own. I moved out 2 years ago, but I still live fairly close to my parents' house. Despite having my own life, my parents still rely on me heavily when it comes to my siblings. They call me almost every day asking for help with something, whether it's picking up Ben from school because they're busy, or helping Sophie with college applications, and of course, they need me to babysit Lily at least once a week because she misses you. I've tried to set boundaries. I've had numerous conversations with them about how I can't be at their beck and call 24/7, but it seems like nothing ever changes. They always manage to guilt trip me by saying things like, "You're so good with the kids," or "We just need a little help." It's not like we're asking for much, and I always cave because I love my siblings and don't want them to feel neglected. But the breaking point came last weekend. My parents had been planning a family vacation for months. They wanted to go on a 2-week trip to Europe, which sounded amazing, except they didn't ask me to go with them as a family member. They asked me to come as the extra help, meaning I'd be responsible for looking after the kids the entire time while they enjoyed their vacation. When they first brought it up, I laughed because I thought they were joking, but then I realized they were serious. They genuinely expected me to spend 2 weeks being the full-time caretaker while they relaxed. I was floored. I'd been working hard at my job and had saved up enough vacation time to finally take a break for myself, and they wanted me to spend it working for them. I told them no, which was met with immediate pushback. My mom started saying things like, "But the kids love spending time with you, and we need this break. We've been so stressed lately." My dad even tried to pull the family loyalty card, saying that I should want to help them out because that's what families do. I stood my ground, and that's when things got heated. My mom accused me of being selfish, saying that I never help out anymore, which is completely untrue. She brought up all the times I've said no recently, making it sound like I've abandoned my family, even though I've still been helping whenever I can. It just wasn't as often as they wanted. That's when I snapped. I told her that I wasn't their live-in nanny or their second mom, and that I deserved to have a life of my own. I said that they've been treating me like a replacement parent for years, and it wasn't fair. I was shaking with anger as I listed off all the times I'd had to drop my own plans to help them out, and how they never once considered that maybe I had my own things going on. My mom started crying, which made me feel horrible. My dad, meanwhile, just looked disappointed, which somehow made me feel even worse. He told me that I was being ungrateful for everything they've done for me, and that I was overreacting. My siblings, who were in the next room, overheard the argument, and now things feel incredibly awkward between all of us. Since the fight, my parents have been distant. They haven't asked me for any help, but they've also been giving me the cold shoulder. My mom sent me a text a few days ago saying that she didn't realize I felt that way, but that she was hurt by how I'd handled things. She said that they were just trying to give me a chance to bond with my siblings, but I feel like that's just an excuse to justify their behavior. Now I'm left wondering if I overreacted. Should I have been more patient with them? Was snapping at them the wrong way to handle things? I feel guilty because I know they've been stressed, but at the same time, I'm tired of feeling like I'm being taken advantage of. So Reddit, AITA for snapping at my parents for treating me more like a second mom than their daughter. Up to Tesso, after reading through a lot of your comments and reflecting on the situation, I decided to sit down and have a proper conversation with my parents. I felt like the way things were left was too unresolved, and I wanted to clear the air, not only for my sake but also for the sake of my siblings. We sat down last Sunday at their place. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but I was determined to make my point without losing my temper again. I started by apologizing for snapping at them the way I did. I told them that it wasn't fair for me to blow up in the heat of the moment and that I regretted making my mom cry. However, I also reiterated that my feelings were valid, and that the way they've been treating me over the years has left me feeling more like a caretaker than a daughter. To my surprise, my parents listened. My mom didn't cry this time, and my dad didn't give me that disappointed look. They actually seemed to take in what I was saying. My mom even admitted that she and my dad had come to rely on me too much, and that they hadn't realized how much it was affecting me. She said that they've always thought of me as incredibly responsible, and because I'm the oldest, they assumed I could handle it all. I told them that while I love my siblings, I can't keep being their go-to person for every little thing. I have my own life now, and I need to be able to live it without constantly feeling guilty for saying no. I also mentioned that it would be good for my siblings to learn some independence, and for my parents to start relying on each other more, rather than always turning to me. My dad was quieter during the conversation, but he nodded along with what I was saying. He said that they didn't mean to make me feel that way, and that he appreciated everything I've done for the family. He even said that he was proud of me for standing up for myself, which was honestly something I didn't expect to hear. As for the vacation, my parents have decided to hire a babysitter for the trip instead of asking me to come along as the help. They even offered to pay for me to join them as a guest if I wanted to, but I told them that I'd rather use my vacation time to do something for myself. They respected that, which was a huge relief. Things aren't perfect, but they're definitely better than they were before. I think this conversation was a big wake-up call for my parents, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like they're seeing me as an individual rather than just an extension of their parenting. Thank you to everyone who commented and gave advice. It really helped me gain the confidence to speak up for myself and set those boundaries. I'm hopeful that things will continue to improve from here on out.